Yo, guys, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of the Game Series Clay podcast. It's your boy Gotham, joined here today with my boy Matt. Matt, how we doing, man? Welcome back. This is on the eve of maybe the end of the dynasty, maybe the end of the season. But this is on the eve of Game 5 of the second round here against the Lakers. The Warriors are down the infamous 3-1. We've been here before on both ends of the 3-1 lead and deficit, but tough episode here today. Did not think that this was going to be the vibe of the series going into Game 5. We were talking the whole game, just leading up to it, that we figured it'd be 2-2. Going back, I think the Warriors thought it was going to be 2-2. I think just hearing them talk before the game. So the Lonnie Walker special, just nobody else showing up. The Steph Curry near masterpiece, still was a masterpiece, but just came up a little short. Matt, how we doing, man? I know you were probably going through all ranges of emotions the last 24 to 48 hours. Talk to me, brother. How we doing today?
Man, I'm in this weird. First of all, dude, good to be on with you, man. I missed you the last 4 or 5 days. But yeah, I mean, it was gut punch. You said it, man. The whole thing was it went about as poorly in the end as we could have expected. But the sad thing is, we could have expected it.
And
The end of the game was quite literally like, if you could just sum up the Warriors season into a couple minutes: the rights, the wrongs, the magic, the failures, the hardships, some of the bad shots, some of the good shots. The last 2 minutes it was everything. And man, it's all I've been able to think about the last couple, like, since last night. That's been on my mind. And it just feels strange, man. It's like, we're gonna get into this obviously, but there's never actually been a time where I feel like we've wondered what's next. You know what I mean? Or actually had to consider, like, hey, what's next? When I say that, I mean, I'm like, I never really thought within reason that Steph, Clay, or Draymond won't be on the team next year, that Steve Kerr won't be coaching the team next year, or Bob Myers, or that the team won't have the, singular mission of winning a title. And all of a sudden, man, I'm having a hard time sleeping. I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. This has been
it's gonna be it.
seven years of title contention and 9 years of, legit just hype as a fan. Since that first playoff run, since Steph came alive in New York all those years ago, all of a sudden you're having all these flashbacks. And you're just wondering, like, I don't know if you are, man, but I'm like, what's happening? What's this? What are we facing mortality for the first time? You know what I mean? What's going on?
I hear you, man. Yeah, I like the way you put it. Just the uncertainty of what's beyond, one loss from now. But that's the beauty of this season, this team. I felt like this has been, like you said. I think yesterday's game was, like you said, a microcosm of the season. Just with not being able to put teams away. I think there was multiple times that game that the Warriors were able to, or had an opportunity to really, extend the lead, but missed some open shots, had some bad turnovers, let the Lakers hit some shots to their credit. They've made the timely baskets to really just halt the Warriors' haymakers. And I know LeBron said it after the game that you got guys stepping up, and it's kind of been the difference in the series. You got guys like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, last night Lonnie Walker. You've seen Rui Hachimura have a moment or two, and the Warriors haven't had that. It's been the Steph Curry show, and the fact that the margin of error in these losses have been so razor thin. Game 1, the Lakers out hustled the Warriors for 3.5 quarters. Warriors were able to claw their way back, nearly stole that one. Game 2, obviously, we know what happened. Game 3, blowout. But even then, the Warriors had a double-digit lead, kind of lost their poise. And, it's a good Lakers team. I feel like they're very evenly matched. I honestly, God, and this isn't even me being a fan, I genuinely believe that the Warriors, when they execute, are a better basketball team than this Los Angeles Lakers team. The only problem is we haven't seen them do it. We've seen the Lakers execute down the stretch. They've taken control of the fourth quarters. And you saw last night, the Warriors had a 7-point lead going into the fourth, and within a minute and a half was wiped away. And all of a sudden you got to go win this game for the third time. And I like how you brought up that, this was like the last night was like the season, and it definitely was in terms of just the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster. But what gives me hope is this team's been through the ringer this season. And I think I tweeted this out last night or earlier today, just in terms of my thoughts going into, just the uncertainty of what's next. But I'm not giving up on this team yet. The MO of them has been, has been not, they're not gonna go down, they're not gonna die easily. And we've seen that, with the 3-7 start, the punch, just to be able to claw your way without Stephen Curry, without Andrew Wiggins for a large part of the season, guys stepping up, to go on the road against Dallas and make sure you stay out of the plan to win a game 7 on the road after being down 0-2 against a really good young Sacramento Kings team. So the team's MO has been, they've fucked around a lot this season and it's bitten them in the ass, but they have never fallen short without going down without a fight yet this season. And as for all the ups and downs that we've seen, they're still here. They're still here down, obviously down 3-1, but you've got a puncher's chance, and that's all you can ask for. And like you said, with the way that the Lakers have been playing, with the way the Warriors have the lack of execution from the Warriors, you'd have to think that something is going to give. And at a certain point, it's a homerism, it's the fandom, it's just your belief in Steph Curry. Truly is what I think is going to get this done. And it's been the saddest part about this whole thing, man. I feel like Steph's had one of his best series in terms of figuring out this Lakers defense, playing the role that he needs to be. He's been a point guard, the best point guard that we've ever seen. The floor game that this guy's had in games, I think it was 2 and 4 that he had over 10 assists. Last night, just surgical. Obviously, the shot wasn't there, but just running the pick and roll, possession after possession. I think that's kind of where the Warriors lost the plot a little bit in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, went away from that. But the thing that went wrong last night was really just, like you said, man, just a lack of execution. And it's been what's troubled this team all year. It's why they found themselves in this position as a 6 seed, and didn't have that luxury. But it's not yet done. And for all the uncertainty, for lack of a better term, just not being able to get it done, they're still not out of it. So what'd you think went wrong last night, man? There was a lot of stuff that, obviously the missed shots, I think the turnovers, but what was your biggest takeaway on why they lost that game last night?
Yeah, we gotta acknowledge Lonnie Walker having like an out of body experience in the fourth
Make
quarter.
that
And that's
dude a
not
statue, man. Respect. Shout out to Walker.
If no matter what happens, that guy's probably got a contract next year in Los Angeles. So props to him for putting the game away. That guy came off the bench and did what, to be totally frank, no Warrior player has done this series.
Now played Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson.
Yeah, he was the best scorer on the floor in the fourth quarter that had LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson on it. So, hat off to him. It's a lot of different things. We saw this is kind of a really reductive analysis, but sometimes it's just a make or miss league. And the Warriors missed a lot of shots you got to make. We saw Wiggins. I don't even know how many wide open threes.
Like 7 bro.
We saw. Oh man, I'm looking right now. He's 2 for 6 last night. We saw guys missing tons of layups. Steph. This is not on Steph at all. To be clear, I want to just say Steph was. You used the word surgical, and it's perfect. I wouldn't say anything different, but the guys weren't knocking down shots, and then this is not. I think there's again. I just want to say this every single time we mention coaching and any of that stuff. Like Steve Kerr has forgotten more about basketball in the last 24 hours than I will ever understand about basketball. So this is not me saying Kerr blew it. It's not, but
not Jim Park. You're not Jim Park.
No. I'm a Kerr guy, but just some funky stuff, man. Not playing Gary Payton in the fourth quarter, I thought was a bizarre choice. I think Moody's been awesome, but at a certain point, when a guy's on a heater like Lonnie Walker was, you got to just, you have the luxury of having one of the 3 or 4 best guard defenders in the league. Hopefully turn his water off. And I think maybe at a certain point, you just expect that to stop, right? You probably think, okay, this guy off the bench cannot possibly keep it going, but he did. So I get it. But team's just sloppy, man. They're a sloppy team. They're a sloppy basketball team. They forget how to play sometimes. We saw careless turnovers. We saw bad shot selection. We saw This is again, this is not, there's not one thing that killed them. It's a combination of however many different things, right? Um, Clay hasn't been good in the series for the most part. He's had some good quarters and good halves. The Warriors, unfortunately, they're at a weird point right now. They have four guys who can go for 25 on a given night, one who can go for 40, obviously in Steph, but there's only one guy I expect to score more than 20 points at this point or to hit big shots. And that's not because I don't believe in Klay Thompson. I'm just saying, if I'm gambling, if I'm going on FanDuel and the over under is 19.5, I don't know how good I feel about hitting the over. And that's not like a testament to Klay or anything. It's just that's where he's at right now. And it's there's a lot of pressure on him. It's tough sometimes when a team doesn't have an outlet or just a guaranteed good look. Unfortunately, with the way the Warriors win their actions, Clay's not always the recipient of wide open looks as often as you think he would be. Even in these all these high screen Steph is getting, you're seeing Wiggins get left wide open for a reason. You're seeing Gary Payton get left wide open for a reason. And I think some have pointed out that maybe Clay was cold at certain points, and that's totally reasonable. But love the guy. Don't want him going anywhere. This is not a send Klay Thompson somewhere else pod, but the shot selection
games is Clay pod, man. We rock
exactly. No, exactly. You ride with Clay, but we got to acknowledge that some of those shots at the end of the quarter, end of the fourth,
it's just bizarre.
Some of them buried the Warriors, to be honest. It's a combination of different things, man. The Warriors they're having a rough time. Stop or making AD's life hard. I think still. There's so many different things, man. But at the very end of the day, there's one guy showing up for the Warriors every night, and outside of that one guy, I don't know who else they're getting. And it kind of is just this overarching theme of the season is this is not not me saying the Warriors trade Steph or Steph should demand a trade. I want Steph in Golden State forever. Okay. But the 2022-2023 Golden State Warriors have pretty objectively failed the 2022-2023 version of Steph Curry we've gotten, who is as good or better as he's ever been. The guy was incredible last night. He was awesome. He almost willed this team to victory in every facet. Tied for a team leader in rebounds, 14 assists, most of which were just like Magic Johnson. Like, how did you zip that? How did you do
one
it?
just behind the back, just didn't even look at
Monte. Never seen it before. Never seen it before. Incredible. And okay.
That's the biggest point you brought up, man. Just the failure of like the way the organization, the team has failed Steph. We've seen this guy. We obviously every single Warriors fan is gonna have a soft spot for Steph Curry. He's the greatest athlete we've seen in our lifetime, at least for me, and I'm sure for you and a lot of Warriors fans. Like when Steph got drafted, and all the early ankle injuries, and just to see just the hard work that it took to become not only just a star in the NBA and the star for the Warriors, but to win 4 championships and to be the Michael Jordan of this era. Like the rise of Steph Curry and like what he's done for this team, what he's done for the Bay Area, this organization, this fan base, like everything this organization has, they owe it to he's raised the valuation of the goddamn franchise from $450 million to $7 billion as what it is right now. So like everything they do should be in like service to Steph Curry, and that is in no slight to the greatness of Steve Kerr's coaching, what Draymond and Klay Thompson have brought to this dynasty, this core, all the role players that have played a part. But Steph is the engine of this entire system. We don't get 4 championships without having a Steph Curry. And the fact
you don't get one championship.
You don't get one. You don't sniff a fucking finals without Steph Curry. Like the amount of franchises that this man is sent home without being able to taste the same success that we have as a fan base is thanks to fucking Steph Curry. And look, man, it pisses me off to hear guys like Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga and Dante Evans, whoever's complaining about playing time, their role on the team, and you're hearing so many just all this bullshit that's been around this team this season. And not saying that it's part and parcel of being in the NBA and the NBA's business, but at a certain point when Steph Curry is before a game 7 has to tell everybody on the fucking team to, sack up. And if you're not here to win, get the fuck out. Like that should not be what Steph Curry has to do at 35 years old after winning 4 championships in the middle of a playoff run. Steph Curry should not have to drop 31 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists on a bad shooting night for his standards and still have to do everything to will this team to victory. Klay Thompson taking selfish shots. Draymond Green scared to take shots. Jordan Poole unable to make any sort of impact on the game.
Unable to walk on 2 feet on the basketball
Literally
court.
cannot make an impact. We had the same impact on that game as Jordan. Honestly, we had a better impact. We didn't turn the fucking ball over like Jordan Poole did. Like the amount of disservice that they have done to Steph Curry is disgusting. And I am like, it's just so disheartening to see. And I know people are gonna bring up, Steph's had the KD years and he's had, all the stuff. But again, this doesn't move what he's doing right now and what he's brought to this team. And it's literally Steph versus LeBron and AD. It's Steph versus the Lakers. It's Steph versus the Golden State fucking Warriors at this point. He has to pick up the just inability of his teammates, of the coaching staff, whatever it is, all on his shoulders, and he's still getting you on the brink to victory. Somebody step the fuck up and help your 35-year-old player of the generation out. And because that's been the difference in the series. Like obviously game 1 made a lot of threes. Steph had, he had an off night, but you had Klay coming in, Poole had a good game. But after that, man, it's been all Steph and nobody's been along for the ride consistently. And look, Steph's 35 years old. Nobody else has the expectations at this age to carry a squad like this. You have aging stars, you have young guys who aren't willing to get bought into anything. And for Steph to have to put up generational numbers and still fall short of a victory and face another 3-1 deficit, that's a disservice to Steph Curry, man. And we can't take these years for granted. We got 2, 3, 4 if we're lucky, like of prime Steph Curry years. Who knows? The guy's an absolute legend in terms of the condition. We hear all about it, but you cannot waste years like this. And you see it with LeBron, the way he's kind of gone into the older version of himself and still being able to make an impact. You want to ease the load on Steph. You don't want to make it harder on him. And like, if anything, this series, this season, has just been like, help this dude out, man, because for everything he's done for us, this team, this organization, he deserves some sort of help to get over the finish line, because he's got that look in his eyes. He's not going down with, he's not going down with that fight. He's not going down without leaving his goddamn fucking chest out there, his heart out there, because that's what Steph Curry is going to bring to the table, because he's a superstar like that. He's top 10 player of all time, best player I've ever seen. And somebody step up, because it's literally him versus the world right now.
Yeah, well said. Well said. I think I think everybody's on the same page, man. I think,
man, that
I don't know what
off
happens.
my chest, bro. Jesus,
oh, good, brother. I mean, I think next game, I don't know what happens, but it's just crazy that the Warriors have 7 guys I think they can trust right now. They're starting 5, and Gary Payton, Moses Moody, and I want to see them run those guys out there next
year. It might be 6, bro. If GP's in the starting lineup, Loon obviously a little under the weather too, so.
Hey, I trust Loon. If Loon's in there, I don't care. He's grabbing boards. He's fighting his ass off. He's working. Okay, he wants to be out there. The guy's grabbing, Bill Russell doubles out there and making $7 million. Okay, that guy's got more heart than anybody else on the team, and that's not a shot at anybody. I'm just saying. Okay, they gotta go out the next 2 games with what's working and what's worked, and what's worked has been literally their starting 5: Moses Moody and Gary Payton. It's insane to me that we keep going back to what is very obviously a dry well in Poole and DiVincenzo. It's not to rip on those guys. It's just there are better options right now. And I understand. I appreciate this in Steve Kerr in some ways. Okay, I appreciate that he doesn't give up on guys. He understands there is potentially long-term impact of giving up on some of these dudes. I hope he's ready to maybe face some of the consequences of that when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga, because I don't know what happens with that kid later on. Obviously, you got to hope he's got his spirits in the right place, given everything you just said, right? You got no right to be mopey right now. You got a right to be pissed off. But guess what? You're chasing the title. When that time comes, you better be ready. And if you don't go in there and show out, you're going to look like a clown.
Totally.
Okay? Totally. So I say to go, hey, take the guys that'll go down with the ship. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Is this how are you feeling going into the next 3 games? Is it 1 game at a time for you? What are you looking at? Because I'm not gonna lie, I mean 3 games in a row has happened maybe 3 times this year for this team. I've got a hard time. You know where I'm gonna go with this, and I'll let you go first though. What are you thinking for the end right now? What's gonna happen in the rest of the series?
Like I said earlier, I genuinely believe if the Warriors are able to execute and play their own style of basketball, they control their destiny. Like if they are able to limit the turnovers, I'm not even saying you gotta go like hit 33s in a game. Like if they're just able to knock down the shots that the Lakers are giving them, like what the Lakers have been doing to them, if both teams execute the exact same way, the Warriors will win this game. And the fact that you have two of the opportunities at home, I think they take care of business game five. It's going to come down to game six. I really got a similar feeling to the OKC series back in 2016. And that one, it felt like, I don't know if we can beat this team. That team felt better than the Warriors. And I know that team was 73-9, but obviously you had an injured Steph and you didn't know what was happening. You got blasted in those two games. I think it was 3-4 against Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City. So you didn't really know what was happening. Game five was a slugfest. I think that, like this team feels different. It feels more like, kind of like Toronto, but not in the sense of, I think we're better than that team. I think that vibe with Toronto was like when we were down 3-1 there, he dropped two at home. It was a little different because obviously there was not the same supporting cast. You had injuries. But it felt like if all you needed was just a little bit of a push to get over the hump. So this is kind of a different one where I feel like we're the better team. So I feel confident that they can. Obviously, you got to take it one game at a time, and it starts in game five. But you've already dropped one to Chase. This series dropped the game six in Sacramento. So it comes out. This comes out to tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see the Lakers really going full throttle tomorrow night. They didn't do it against Memphis. If you're able to get off to an early good lead, keep them at bay. I think that they kind of raise the white flag early and call it a go all in for game six. But game six obviously is going to be the one that determines the series. But again, the Warriors have had two good road showings, first half in game three or whatever, first quarter and a half in game three, and then pretty much yesterday until the last 7-8 minutes in the fourth quarter. So they've put together good road showings. Now it's just about executing, man, and you need some people to step up at this point. Like we said earlier, man, it cannot just be Steph willing you to the brink of victory because he's going to be able to do that for you. He's going to get you to the doorstep. You need Wiggins, Clay, Jordan Poole if he gets an opportunity. Guys like Dante, Draymond on the defensive end. Like it's going to take a collective effort. You need a full 48 minutes. We've not seen that consistently from this team all year, but again, take it one game at a time. You have two home games. So it's really just about, can you take care of business at home tomorrow night? And look, you go into game six with that kind of swagger. And, I was reading some of the post-game tweets and just the stuff you hear about the vibe in the locker room. Sounded like they felt like they let that one go in game four. It didn't sound like oh, we're not better or, we lost the series last night. So I expect the Warriors to come out and punch them in the mouth. These dudes are champs, man. Like I said, win or lose, I'm riding with Steph and obviously Clay and Draymond, but I'm riding with Steph Curry. And we've got the best player of the series on our team. We just need the other guys to step up like the Lakers have had theirs. So take care of business tomorrow night. We will see y'all for a pregame six pod because I know what's happening. But take it one game at a time and have faith in that fucking corgi, man. If that comes true, we gonna have some fun. But game five, just take care of business, man. I'm not scared though. I do not feel nervous about this 3-1 deficit.
Yeah, man, I kind of go back and forth. Like the more optimistic part of me, which is probably like my pinky on my left hand. That's probably the only part. That part feels like, hey, I agree with you. I think this team, when they're playing well, is a better basketball team than the Lakers. I also think this team is not. I'm just looking right now, for example, I'm looking at that 2015-16 roster. It's just Barbosa, NBA guard, rotation player, Barnes, NBA forward, rotation player, Bogut, best rim protector in the league that year. Ian Clark, like he was
good
peak cockamaker, man. Steph, obviously, Ezeli also, people don't realize like I was putting up like Rudy Gobert numbers protecting the paint when he was in the game. Draymond, Iguodala, Livingston, Spates, Clay. That's 9, 10. That is strength in numbers, and that being able to go to a lineup when Steph is out. I'm just looking at them and I'm thinking like, hey, how does this team survive when Steph is out? Maybe you do just go all defense. The Warriors can kind of pull that off. The 6, 7, 8 minutes Steph's going to be out. And again, we got to keep in mind Steph's playing 40+ minutes the rest of this series now.
Oh,
And
easily.
if it's tomorrow, it's over. If it's all 4-3 games, they've lost that luxury, which sucks. But it's just crazy to look back, man. That team that came back from the 3-1 hole in OKC,
Also shows how good that OKC team was, man. Like they that
great
I
team.
genuinely I don't know how you felt during that series, but that team felt better. Like they felt like the better team. It felt I think Iguodala said it on his show or wherever he said in interviews, like they thought that they were the better team. The Warriors out executed them. And you had Steph
They
average
did.
33 those last 3 games. You had Clay average 29, Draymond averaged 11, like 7 and 8 or something like that. You had it was on the backs of those three guys, and that's how it's gonna be. That's what you're going to need. It comes down to your championship core right now. And
Yeah.
look, we can talk about these other guys stepping up, and obviously you're going to need guys like Wiggins and JP and whoever gets an opportunity. But this is on the trio, man. This is their dynasty. This is their run. It's on them to will this team back and really save the dynasty because you like you said earlier, who knows what happens next year? Who knows what happens in the offseason?
Yeah.
A second round exit to a Lakers team that is a 7 seed is not going to sit well with Mr. with Mr. Lacob. So as it should. I think that this Warriors team, the deeper they go, the better chance. And obviously, I think we'll get into offseason stuff after the Warriors lift that trophy in June. But we got we got the dynasty isn't over until Steph's. There we go. Dynasty isn't over till Steph retires, but we still got these bad boys.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I love the confidence. To be honest, I feel like the thing everybody expects right now is a Game 5 victory.
Yeah, don't take it for granted, but I will say again it
I,
comes
I
down
think it's over
to the
tomorrow, big guy.
intensity. It
I
comes
think
down
it's
to the
done.
intensity.
I think they fight like hell. I think tomorrow's it, man. I just have this gut
Oh
feeling
wait,
that
you
we're
think they
all
lose a game
expecting.
5 at home like that? Nah, they're not going off like that.
I hope you're right. Again, the other part of me is like, hey, this Laker team is not a great basketball team. They're good, not a great basketball team. I think the Warriors, they're at their peak. If they can peak over the next few games, are a better team. It's just, listen, I disagree with you on that. I don't think the Lakers take it easy tomorrow. I think LeBron wants the series to be over. We're looking at this Denver Phoenix series going 6. Who knows what if Phoenix come back from the other asses kicked tonight? But I feel like LeBron's gonna show up tomorrow. I think AD, who knows with that guy, but he was good at home in the last few games. It's just hard knowing that you have those two guys be the Lakers. You've got to feel okay. And again, to be clear, I think Steph is far and away the best player in this series.
But the drop,
I don't know what else to expect from who's stepping up. Like Wiggins or Clay or both, honestly, might need to be great tomorrow night.
and I think they will. I mean, that's where I think playing at home, obviously, it's just there's all you got the crowd in them. The crowd, I mean, the crowd knows it's it's win or go home. Obviously, you're down 3-1, but I just think back to that OKC game 5 in 2016 where it was a dogfight that game, but again, that team is completely different. That team felt better. That team felt like they smelled blood. The Lakers won last night on Lonnie Walker, man. They know that they stole one yesterday. The Warriors know they gave one up yesterday, so I expect them to come out, punch them in the mouth. This one's going at least to 6. There's no way the team that I know and the core that I grew up watching, they're not going out tomorrow night at home. That's just not how this one ends. So I guess right on there. Let's get a prediction. So you got the Lakers going to the conference finals tomorrow night.
It's so hard for me to say that, man.
Don't say that. Don't say that on air.
It's hard for me to say it, dude. Oh man. It's just hard to. It's like, what is it? Is it Eeyore or is it me? I can never tell who's speaking, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's done. Maybe it's just me wanting it to be over, though. I'm like, you've heard me the last 3 weeks or 3 months, man. I've been like, just make the season end. I've been done, man. I can't handle it. I can't sleep. I am like texting angry things to my friends Chuck and Gautam all the time. They probably think I'm like the fucking Hannibal Lecter over here. No, I think in my heart, I think they win tomorrow, man. I'm just gonna be okay. I think they're getting a dub.
Welcome back, baby. Welcome back.
I think they get a dub tomorrow, and then I will be
We'll,
I'll
we'll talk
be.
about game six when we get there. And obviously we got our namesake that owes us a game six performance.
Oh, geez, God, man.
Hopefully you don't. Hopefully he
I hope he
doesn't
doesn't
chase
think
one.
that, man.
Hopefully he doesn't
Yeah.
chase one. But
But anyway, no,
um,
let's stick to tomorrow. I'm saying to win tomorrow. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna guess any scores, man. I'm
yeah, I
saying
don't know
that.
about the score. I think it's gonna be a comfortable win in the end. But again, no win has been comfortable this year. But I'm going with the Warriors, man. They're not going out like that. Then they know they let one go, and I truly believe that this team believes they can come back and win the series. I think they know that all it takes is it's on them. So
I think 7 guys. I think 7 guys believe that. I think 8 guys don't give a shit.
and you know what? All you need is all you need. You need seven. You need 7 dudes that you trust, and they have 7 dudes that you trust right now. And I feel good about the 7 dudes that we got. Obviously, the Lakers got a little bit of a deeper team, but tomorrow night's gonna be the beginning of something. Take it one game at a time. But as always, man, before we get out of here, anything to shout out?
No, sorry, man. I'm yawning. No, just keep following GSW Fast Break. Keep following Game 6 Play Pod. Follow me, Matt J. Cardoza, I think, on Twitter. I really got to get that down, man. I never know my handle. That's not good. Um, Follow Gotham. Chuck's not here. Chuck was able to go catch the Nuggets, kick the shit out of the Suns tonight. Good for him. If the Warriors go out sad, I'm rooting for Denver, I think. So I'd love to see Jokic get a ring. That'd be cool. In the worst of circumstances, of course. To be clear, Gotham is thinking poorly of me right now. But no, follow the 3 of us, follow the pod. Let's go Dubs and get a dub tomorrow.
We ain't going home, man. We ain't going home. I still remember that 7 that Steph Curry put up, and I can't wait till he silences that stupid ass fucking crypto arena bitch ass crowd in Game 6, and wills his team to the storybook ending of making this corgi's dream come true, making our dreams come true, and just giving LeBron James the final middle finger in this chapter of this rivalry by coming back from a 3-1 deficit, and just the icing on the cake. So I got the dubs tomorrow. But yeah, shout out everyone. Shout out the pod. Follow us. Follow all that stuff. But until the next episode, and this is not the last one of the season, and I can tell you guys that. I'll guarantee that one. This is
That'll
not
be
the
on
last
Thursday.
one. This is not the last one of the season. We will catch y'all for the Game 6 preview here on Game 6 Clay. But until then, peace.